Pete Davidson, one of the most unconventional breakout stars to emerge from Saturday Night Live, has built a career on raw honesty, self-deprecating humor, and an unmistakable presence that set him apart in modern Hollywood. Beyond his work on stage and screen, however, Davidson has become equally known for a romantic history that repeatedly captured public attention. His love life has unfolded in full view of the media, marked by high-profile partners, sudden beginnings and abrupt endings that fueled endless fascination. But behind the headlines and viral moments, who were the people who truly shaped Pete Davidson's journey through love? In this video, we take a deep dive into the complete dating history of Pete Davidson, tracing his relationships from his earliest known romances to the present day. Born in Staten Island, New York, Pete Davidson grew up far from the traditional Hollywood spotlight. Raised primarily by his mother, he experienced a defining personal tragedy at a young age when his father, a New York City firefighter, was killed during the September 11th attacks. This loss would later become a recurring point of reference in Davidson's comedy, shaping both his public persona and his willingness to speak openly about pain, vulnerability, and mental health. Davidson attended St. Joseph by the Sea High School before transferring to Tottenville High School, where his interest in comedy began to take form. He later enrolled at St. Francis College in Brooklyn, though his academic path was brief. Stand-up comedy quickly became his primary focus, offering both an outlet and a direction. His early performances were marked by a candid Pete Davidson and Carly Aquilino, dated from 2015 to 2017. This relationship marked one of the earliest publicly recognized chapters in Davidson's romantic timeline, occurring before his dating life became a constant subject of international media attention. Aquilino, a comedian and actress, was already familiar with the pressures of performing in public exposure. The two reportedly met through comedy circles in New York, where Davidson was rapidly gaining visibility through his work on Saturday Night Live. Their shared professional background created an immediate sense of understanding, as both were navigating careers rooted in humor, vulnerability, and public reaction. During this period, Davidson's fame was still on an upward trajectory rather than at its peak. As a result, their relationship remained relatively low profile compared to those that would follow. They were occasionally seen together at events and referenced one another in interviews, but media coverage remained limited. The relationship was generally described as supportive and grounded, particularly during a time when Davidson was becoming more open about his mental health struggles. One notable aspect of their relationship was its influence on Davidson's public persona. Aquilino was among the first partners to be mentioned indirectly in his stand-up routines, signaling a pattern that would later become a hallmark of his comedy. Rather than shielding his personal life, Davidson incorporated it into his work, allowing audiences to glimpse the realities behind his humor. Despite their apparent compatibility, the relationship eventually came to an end in 2017. Reports at the time suggested that conflicting schedules and the increasing demands of Davidson's career played a significant role. As Saturday Night Live elevated his visibility, his professional obligations expanded rapidly, leaving less room for stability in his personal life. Their breakup was widely regarded as amicable. Both parties refrained from public criticism, and Aquilino later spoke positively about Davidson in interviews, emphasizing mutual respect rather than resentment. Though no longer romantically involved, they appeared to maintain a friendly rapport in the years that followed. In retrospect, this relationship stands out not for scandal or controversy, but for what it represented in Davidson's development. It reflected a period before his love life became synonymous with celebrity headlines, when relationships unfolded at a more measured pace and outside intense public scrutiny. Yet even in this early chapter, subtle patterns began to emerge. Davidson gravitated toward partners who understood the emotional demands of performing, while the pressures of a rapidly rising career quietly tested the durability of those connections. But as his fame continued to accelerate, would future relationships be able to withstand a level of attention far greater than anything he had experienced before? Pete Davidson and Cassie David dated from 2017 to 2018. This relationship marked a significant transition in Davidson's romantic life, unfolding at a moment when his public profile was expanding rapidly and media attention was beginning to intensify. Cassie David, a writer and actress, is the daughter of comedian and producer Larry David. The two reportedly met through mutual connections within the comedy world, where their shared background created an immediate sense of familiarity. At the time, Davidson was becoming an increasingly recognizable figure on Saturday Night Live, while Cassie was establishing her own creative voice through writing and digital media. Their relationship was largely private in its early stages. Unlike many celebrity couples, they rarely appeared together at high-profile events, choosing instead to keep their connection out of the public spotlight. However, Davidson occasionally referenced the relationship in his stand-up material, offering glimpses into their dynamic without revealing explicit details. As Davidson's fame grew, the pressures surrounding the relationship became more pronounced. In later reflections, Cassie described the experience of dating someone whose life was increasingly consumed by public attention and professional demands. The relationship was characterized as emotionally intense, with periods of closeness followed by strain as Davidson navigated career momentum alongside personal challenges. The relationship came to an end in 2018. Reports indicated that the breakup occurred shortly before Davidson entered another highly publicized romance. In subsequent interviews and essays, Cassie spoke candidly about the emotional difficulty of the separation, describing feelings of confusion and heartbreak rather than public conflict. What followed would elevate this chapter of Davidson's love life to widespread public discussion. Shortly after the breakup, Davidson's engagement to another high-profile partner became headline news, drawing renewed attention to the timing and emotional aftermath of his previous relationship. While Davidson did not publicly comment in detail, the contrast between a private breakup and a sudden, very public engagement intensified media fascination. Despite the attention, there was no indication of ongoing animosity between the two. Over time, both moved forward with their respective careers, and the relationship settled into a closed chapter rather than a continuing controversy. Looking back, this relationship is often seen as the final moment before Davidson's dating history entered a dramatically different phase. It represented the last period in which his romantic life was largely shielded from relentless tabloid coverage. But as one chapter quietly closed, another was about to begin. One that would transform Pete Davidson's love life into a global spectacle almost overnight. Pete Davidson and Ariana Grande dated in 2018, a relationship that quickly became one of the most talked about celebrity romances of the decade. Though brief in duration, it marked a defining turning point in Davidson's romantic timeline and permanently altered the level of scrutiny surrounding his personal life. The two met while working together on Saturday Night Live, where Grande appeared as a musical guest and Davidson was a featured cast member. Their connection developed rapidly, and within weeks, reports confirmed that they were dating. Unlike Davidson's previous relationships, this romance unfolded almost entirely in the public eye. What followed was an unusually fast escalation. By June of 2018, Davidson and Grande were engaged, only weeks after their relationship became public knowledge. The announcement generated intense media attention, with fans and commentators alike expressing surprise at the speed of their commitment. The couple appeared openly affectionate, frequently referencing one another on social media and in interviews. During this period, their relationship became deeply intertwined with their professional lives. Grande referenced Davidson in her music, while Davidson spoke about the engagement during stand-up performances and televised appearances. The romance was often described as passionate and emotionally charged, fueled by mutual openness and vulnerability. However, the intensity that initially defined the relationship soon became a source of strain. Both faced immense professional pressure, and Grande was navigating personal trauma following the death of her former partner, Mac Miller, in September of 2018. As media attention intensified, the emotional weight surrounding the relationship became increasingly difficult to sustain. In October of 2018, Davidson and Grande ended their engagement. Reports indicated that the breakup was mutual and rooted in emotional circumstances rather than conflict. Shortly after the separation, Grande released music that reflected on the relationship, while Davidson addressed the breakup more cautiously, acknowledging the challenges of processing such a public loss. Despite its brief duration, the relationship left a lasting imprint on both individuals. For Davidson, it marked the moment his love life became inseparable from celebrity headlines. His dating history was no longer treated as a private matter, but as an ongoing public narrative subject to constant commentary. In retrospect, this chapter stands as one of the most pivotal in Davidson's romantic journey. It transformed him from a rising comedian with a relatively private personal life into a central figure in pop culture discussions about celebrity relationships. But after experiencing love at such intensity and visibility, how would Davidson approach relationships moving forward? And could any future romance ever escape comparison to this moment? Pete Davidson and Kate Beckinsale were linked in early 2019. Their relationship drew immediate attention due to the contrast between their public images and a notable age difference. Beckinsale, an established film actress with decades of experience in Hollywood, represented a markedly different chapter from Davidson's previous partners. They were first seen together at public events and award season gatherings, prompting widespread speculation. Reports suggested that they met through mutual industry circles, though neither publicly detailed the exact circumstances. Their appearances together, including public displays of affection, quickly became tabloid staples. The relationship was described as brief but visible. Both maintained busy professional schedules, and the romance appeared to unfold during a transitional period for Davidson following his highly publicized engagement the previous year. By the spring of 2019, reports indicated that the relationship had ended. Their separation was portrayed as amicable, with no public statements of conflict. In retrospect, this chapter appeared to reflect Davidson's continued adjustment to life under intense public scrutiny, rather than a long-term romantic shift. But was this relationship a deliberate step towards something different, or simply a momentary connection during a period of personal recalibration? Later, in 2019, Davidson was reported to have dated actress Margaret Qualley. The two were linked after being seen together at film-related events, with sources suggesting they met through shared professional environments. Unlike previous relationships, this chapter remained relatively understated. Both parties avoided public commentary, and media coverage was limited compared to Davidson's earlier high-profile romances. The relationship was believed to have been short-lived, concluding quietly without public incident. Though brief, this relationship reinforced a recurring pattern in Davidson's dating history. Connections forming during periods of career transition, often remaining private until external attention inevitably followed. But could privacy still exist for someone whose personal life had become a point of constant public interest? Pete Davidson and Kaya Gerber dated from late 2019 into early 2020. Gerber, a successful model and the daughter of Cindy Crawford, brought Davidson back into the center of celebrity media coverage. The two reportedly met through mutual friends within fashion and entertainment circles. Their relationship quickly became visible, with the pair attending events together and being photographed frequently. Despite the attention, they appeared to maintain a relatively low-key dynamic compared to Davidson's previous relationships. The relationship came to an end in early 2020. Reports indicated that the breakup occurred as Davidson focused on his mental health and personal well-being. He later acknowledged the importance of stepping back from relationships during periods of personal recovery, though he did not attribute the separation to conflict. Following the breakup, both moved forward without public dispute. The relationship was often cited as an example of Davidson's growing awareness of personal boundaries and emotional readiness. But did this mark a shift toward greater self-awareness? Or was it simply another pause in an ongoing cycle? In 2021, Davidson began dating actress Phoebe Dynevor, known for her role in Bridgerton. This relationship represented a notable departure from previous patterns, as it unfolded largely away from public events and social media. The two reportedly met through mutual friends and maintained a long-distance dynamic for much of their relationship. Unlike earlier chapters, they made few public appearances together, choosing privacy over publicity. By mid-2021, reports confirmed that the relationship had ended. Sources cited conflicting schedules and geographic distance as contributing factors. Despite the separation, both parties spoke positively about one another, emphasizing mutual respect rather than discord. This relationship suggested a possible evolution in Davidson's approach to dating, prioritizing discretion over visibility. Yet even as this quieter chapter closed, the question remained: was Davidson moving towards stability, or was another highly public romance waiting just ahead? Pete Davidson and Kim Kardashian dated from late 2021 to mid-2022. This relationship represented one of the most unexpected and widely discussed chapters in Davidson's romantic history, bringing him into direct orbit with one of the most recognizable figures in global pop culture. The two met while working together on Saturday Night Live in October of 2021, when Kardashian hosted the show. During a sketch rehearsal, the pair shared an on-screen moment that quickly drew public attention. In the weeks that followed, reports confirmed that they had begun spending time together off-camera. Their relationship developed gradually but publicly. By November of 2021, Davidson and Kardashian were seen together at multiple events, including outings in New York and California. Unlike Davidson's previous romances, this relationship unfolded against the backdrop of Kardashian's long-established media presence and her recent divorce from rapper Kanye West. As the relationship progressed, the couple became increasingly visible. They attended high-profile events together, including industry gatherings and red carpet appearances. Kardashian spoke openly in interviews about feeling happy and grounded, while Davidson appeared comfortable stepping into a world defined by constant media exposure. The relationship was often described as supportive and affectionate. Davidson reportedly spent time with Kardashian's family and children, signaling a level of seriousness not always present in his past relationships. Public perception shifted, with many observers noting a calmer, more composed version of Davidson during this period. However, the pressures of fame once again played a central role. Both maintained demanding professional schedules, and the relationship existed under relentless public scrutiny. By August of 2022, reports confirmed that the couple had parted ways. Sources cited conflicting schedules and long-distance demands as contributing factors to the breakup. Both Davidson and Kardashian refrained from public criticism, emphasizing mutual respect. Their separation was described as amicable, with no indication of lingering conflict. In retrospect, this relationship marked a significant moment in Davidson's romantic evolution. It demonstrated his ability to navigate a highly public partnership with relative stability, while also highlighting the persistent challenges of maintaining intimacy under constant observation. But after stepping into one of the most scrutinized relationships in modern celebrity culture, would Davidson continue down this path of high-profile romance or seek something quieter, away from the spotlight? Following his breakup with Kim Kardashian in mid-2022, Pete Davidson entered a period marked by shorter relationships and renewed speculation. Unlike earlier chapters, many of these connections unfolded briefly, often amid ongoing media scrutiny rather than formal public confirmation. Pete Davidson and Emily Ratajkowski were linked in late 2022. Reports emerged after the two were seen together in New York, sparking immediate attention due to Ratajkowski's prominence as a model, author, and cultural figure. Sources suggested that they met through mutual friends within fashion and entertainment circles. The relationship was described as casual and short-lived, taking place during a transitional period following both of their recent breakups. Neither Davidson nor Ratajkowski offered public confirmation beyond limited appearances. By the end of the year, reports indicated that the connection had ended. There was no indication of conflict, and the chapter quietly closed without further public development. But was this a meaningful step forward, or simply a brief moment of companionship during a period of adjustment? In early 2023, Davidson began dating actress Chase Sui Wonders. Unlike several previous chapters, this relationship developed in a more private and measured manner. The two reportedly met while working together on a film project, establishing a connection through professional collaboration. They were later photographed together on multiple occasions, confirming the relationship. Compared to Davidson's earlier romances, this chapter attracted less tabloid frenzy, reflecting a possible shift toward discretion. The relationship lasted several months before ending later in 2023. Reports cited personal priorities and career focus as contributing factors. Both parties avoided public commentary, and the separation was portrayed as respectful and amicable. This relationship suggested a continued effort by Davidson to engage in quieter, more grounded connections following years of high-profile attention. Yet even as this chapter closed, speculation surrounding his personal life showed no sign of slowing. During this period, Davidson was occasionally rumored to have been linked to other public figures following isolated sightings or social media speculation. However, in several instances, there was no credible evidence that these interactions extended beyond friendly encounters or professional proximity. In such cases, reports often originated from a single public appearance or anonymous sources, without confirmation from either party. These rumors tended to fade quickly, underscoring the difficulty of separating genuine romantic involvement from routine celebrity interaction. This pattern highlighted a recurring reality in Davidson's dating history. As his fame persisted, even brief or coincidental moments were frequently interpreted as potential romances. But amid this swirl of speculation, a more consequential chapter was quietly taking shape, one that would signal a significant shift in both tone and direction. Pete Davidson and Elsie Hewitt began dating in 2024, marking a notably different chapter in his romantic timeline. Unlike many of his previous relationships, this connection developed with less spectacle and a more deliberate pace, signaling a potential shift in both priorities and public posture. Elsie Hewitt, a model and actress, had already established her own presence in fashion and entertainment before being linked to Davidson. Reports indicated that the two met through shared social circles rather than a highly public professional collaboration. Early sightings suggested a relaxed dynamic with few public statements and limited media engagement. As the relationship progressed, it became clear that this chapter carried a different tone. Davidson appeared more guarded about public exposure, while Hewitt maintained a low-profile approach. Their appearances together were infrequent and understated, contrasting sharply with the headline-driven cycles that defined several of Davidson's earlier romances. By mid-2025, reports confirmed that the couple were expecting their first child together, The announcement marked a significant milestone in Davidson's personal life, introducing a level of responsibility and long-term consideration previously absent from his public dating narrative. Coverage emphasized stability rather than shock, reflecting a broader shift in how the relationship was perceived. In interviews and public commentary, Davidson had previously spoken about his desire for balance and growth. This chapter appeared to align with those sentiments, suggesting a move away from rapid, highly publicized romances toward a more grounded partnership. While both remained active professionally, the focus surrounding this relationship centered less on celebrity spectacle and more on personal evolution. For the first time in his dating history, public discourse framed Davidson not as a headline-driven romantic figure, but as someone entering a new phase of adulthood. This relationship did not erase the complexities of his past, but it reframed them. Rather than another sudden chapter, it represented continuity and intention. But after years of intense scrutiny, sudden beginnings and abrupt endings, could this be the relationship that finally brings lasting stability to Pete Davidson's love life? Throughout Pete Davidson's rise to prominence, speculation about his personal life often extended beyond confirmed relationships. As media interest intensified, routine social interactions and professional collaborations were frequently interpreted as potential romances. In several instances, however, these narratives lacked credible evidence. At various points, Davidson was rumored to have dated individuals following a single public appearance or shared photograph. In these cases, reports were typically based on anonymous sources or brief sightings without corroboration from either party involved. There was no verifiable confirmation that these encounters developed into romantic relationships. Some rumors appeared to emerge from professional proximity. Co-stars, collaborators, or acquaintances were occasionally linked to Davidson simply due to working relationships or friendly public interactions. In such situations, no follow-up reporting supported the existence of a romantic connection, and the speculation faded quickly. Despite persistent online discussion, there is no evidence that several widely circulated names were ever romantically involved with Davidson. Neither public statements nor reliable reporting substantiated these claims, suggesting that the rumors reflected heightened media sensitivity rather than factual relationships. This pattern underscores a broader reality of celebrity culture. For figures like Davidson, whose dating history includes multiple high-profile partners, the threshold for speculation becomes increasingly low. Familiarity, visibility, or coincidence can easily be misconstrued as romance. By distinguishing confirmed relationships from unverified rumors, a clearer picture of Davidson's romantic journey emerges. While his dating history is undeniably eventful, it is not as expansive as speculation alone might suggest. Separating fact from conjecture allows for a more accurate understanding of how his relationships unfolded and how public perception often amplified narratives beyond their factual basis. But after filtering out rumor and exaggeration, what does Pete Davidson's love life truly reveal when viewed as a complete timeline? Through nearly a decade of public relationships, Pete Davidson's romantic history reveals a journey shaped as much by timing and circumstance as by emotion. From early, relatively private relationships to highly publicized romances that dominated headlines, each chapter reflected a different stage in both his personal growth and professional ascent. A clear pattern emerges when viewing his love life as a complete timeline. Many of Davidson's relationships began during periods of transition, moments when his career was accelerating, his public visibility was shifting, or his personal priorities were in flux. These transitions often brought intensity, but also instability. Rapid emotional connections were frequently followed by equally rapid conclusions. Another recurring element was the role of fame itself. As Davidson's profile grew, so did the pressure placed on his relationships. Media attention, public speculation, and constant commentary became persistent forces, shaping not only how these romances were perceived, but how they unfolded. In several cases, the visibility surrounding the relationship appeared to complicate efforts to maintain privacy and balance. Yet the timeline also suggests gradual evolution. Over time, Davidson showed increasing awareness of personal boundaries and emotional readiness. Later relationships reflected a more measured pace, reduced public exposure, and a clearer emphasis on stability rather than spectacle. His current chapter represents the most significant departure from earlier patterns. The focus has shifted away from headline-driven romance toward long-term responsibility and personal grounding. Rather than another sudden rise and fall, this phase suggests continuity and intention. Taken together, Pete Davidson's love life is not simply a series of high-profile pairings, but a reflection of a man navigating vulnerability, fame, and growth in real time. Each relationship contributed to a broader narrative, one defined not by scandal alone, but by learning, adjustment, and change. And as this chapter continues to unfold, one question naturally remains. After years of public fascination and personal reinvention, has Pete Davidson finally found the stability that once seemed so elusive?